Hey, Shalom. Giving all praise to Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. Double honors to the apostles, elders of Great Millstone. Shalom to your whole food elect. And just, through the Spirit, the elder out there in LA. I don't want to butcher his name, but, he referenced this video going into what appears to be this Jake. This video is roughly two years old, over 2 years old, so, but nevertheless, it's prevalent to the times that we're coming into. All right. But nevertheless, he referenced this video going into this, I think is a so-called pastor or preacher or whatever, about this dream that he had. All right. And like I said, even though the video's somewhere between 2 to 3 years old, is it's a pretty damn vivid dream because, hey, as the scripture said that the Lord, he will pour out his spirit upon all flesh. So, just through the Spirit, I wanted to play some of this video where he's expounding on this dream because he's basically describing Jacob's trouble, all right, and all hell breaking loose. And I want to get a quick precept, Lord willing, I can find it. Just bear with me. So in Mark chapter 13, because, with everything that's going on right now, we understand that this is a thing that can pop off at any minute, all right? All hell, all chaos can just break loose at any second, because we're that close. And like I said, just with everything that's going on right now, everything is tying in. The more and more we're starting to see the puzzle more clear. Things are just, it's coming together according to prophecy. All right, because with all this talk of these cyber attacks, which the mainstream media is pretty much blown under the rug. All right, they're not really talking about it. And with that being said, the fact that they're coming out with this Fed now in July, a few weeks away. Again, we're that much closer. Before I get that, I want to get this. Bear with me real quick. So because coming into this time known as Jacob's trouble, understanding what we're about to witness, because we're about to witness some horrific, horrendous things. We're about to see these. We're about to see it in live action in real time. So with that being said, we really have to have a certain type of mindset, which that's what the Lord has been building us up. We've been developing this this certain mindset. All right, and that's why I want to read this real quick. In 1 Peter 1:13, wherefore gird up the loins of your mind, be sober and hope to the end for the grace that is to be brought unto you at the revelation of Yahushua HaMashiach. All right, because like I said, it said hope to the end for the grace that is to be brought unto you. All right, because hey, that's going to be our best bet, is hoping that the Lord bestows his grace, his mercy upon us, Now, even though the elect, they were already predestined to, receive that mercy, but we don't know for all that number. So that's what's going to come down to. Hey, that's our best bet. It's just the Lord showing us mercy, But hey, even with that being said, because the point being, it said, "Wherefore gird up the loins of your mind." All right, because either way, we just have to have a certain mindset towards just like, hey, it is what it is. It is what it is, man. Whatever the Lord's will be done, even if it means, and this might be a hard pill, especially for newer brothers and sisters coming up, it might be a hard pill to swallow. That, hey, it's to a point that, even if I'm not of the elect, even if we're not the elect, because I know I say this sometimes, to just within myself when I'm praying and whatnot, man. Even if I'm not of the elect, one way or the other, this place has to go down, man. One way or the other. All right, the Lord has to put an end to this. He has to stop this. Now, as much as we would like to be of the elect, as much as I would like to be the elect, at the end of the day, hey, if I'm of the elect or not, hey, and again, it's that mindset. It's a certain mindset that we have to have, man. But before I ramble on, I'm going to go ahead and play this video. Again, is this so-called pastor or preacher or whatever. He's describing this pretty vivid dream that he had. So without further ado,
happened, the whole nine. I also want to let you know that on this video channel, I have another prophecy of a dream that I had pertaining to the vaccinations, the COVID-19 issues, the one world government, the elitists, the police issue that is going on. I had this dream on May 5th, and I posted this also on this YouTube channel. You'll see it momentarily. I'm going to post this video first, and then I'm going to post the video from May 5th of this year so that you can see that God has been dealing with me. I'm aware that people are posting videos, prophesying things, but I don't get my information from man. I get my things from God, and I'm very, very reluctant to disclose dreams.
Now, just through the Spirit, I'm just gonna, try to dissect this, filter this through the scriptures as much as possible. But, obviously, what I don't dissect, all right, you just got to be able to, chew the meat and spit out the bones. Like this guy's talking about how the Lord is dealing with him. And listen, again, just be able to, through the Spirit, discern and chew the meat, spit out the bones.
And things like that, unless I clearly have a conviction that it's going to help someone. And I just feel this dream is going to help someone, at least to let you know it is prayer time. We need to pray. We need to stay active. But here's the dream, and I just want to discuss this dream with you. In the dream, it was a dream dealing with America, and I saw 3 pastors. I don't know these pastors. I could not identify them. I cannot even tell you what their nationality was. But one thing was clear is these pastors knew each other. They were connected, but they weren't talking to each other. Each pastor, strangely, was sitting in a chair. The chair looked very royal. It was a royal-looking seat, as if a king would be sitting in a type of chair like this. And all 3 of these pastors were separated from each other. And they were high up, I'm going to say probably close to 15 feet above a normal stature of a man that would maybe 5'8", 5'9", 6 feet, or what have you. And they were sitting very quiet, not moving. And they each in their right hand had a torch. And each of the torches had fire just extending from this. In the dream, I was there and I was sitting behind, if you can understand, if you're facing these 3 pastors that were sitting, they were elevated. They were not sitting on any floor. There was no floor. They were elevated as if to say in the air. And beneath them were masses of people. These pastors were not gigantic, but they were normal looking like human beings that were elevated. Their chairs were sitting on pure air. Four legs on each chair, and beneath them I saw massive amounts of people, and it was dark, and I can hear noises of just people moving, and clearly I understood in the dream that.
So real quick, because That's what's getting ready to engulf Babylon, aka America. All right, complete darkness, complete ignorance. Because while people are in this normacy by His Spirit, you know, thinking that life is just going to go on, it's going to continue to go on like this. You know, people are living in their comforts and living in luxury and whatnot. Well, again, mass confusion is about to, engulf Babylon. Isaiah 47:1. Come down and sit in the dust. And that dust represents confusion. O virgin daughter of Babylon. And you see, because, as I'm about to play on, what he mentions, because, one of the many titles that America has is, not only is she referenced as the Babylon, but she's referenced as the virgin daughter of Babylon, as I just read here, because, obviously a virgin, a young girl that hasn't been touched. Well, as I always say, America is about to get her cherry popped, because, again, with everything that's going on worldwide, people here, they think this is the home of the brave, land of the free, right? That stuff can never happen here, right? Well, little do these people know, it's coming to America, all right? I always use the example, when you have a dinner plate, you got your fine meat, you got your steak, because some of us, especially here in the South, we were taught, you got your meat, right? You got your starch, and you got your vegetables, right? Well, you got your dinner plate. So you got your steak, right? You got your rice or your potatoes, right? Whatever, starch, whatever. And then you got your vegetables. Well, typically what you would do is you would start from the least favorite, which would typically be your vegetables. And from there, you will work your way up. So you would go from the vegetables to the starch and to the steak. You would save the best for last. All right. Typically. Well, that's the case for America. All right. With everything that's going on worldwide. Again, the Lord, He's saving the best for last. All right. Or in this case, America's case, He's reserving the worst for America, man. Because it's only a matter of time. It's only a matter of time. All right. And when that time comes, when that time comes, man, again, it's going to catch these people. The Lord is about to sweep the rug from up under these people's feet, man, because again, they're in this mindset that, this can never happen to America. America's just going to be here forever. It's just going to flourish, man. That's over there, That's over there. It isn't, Well, just going to talk about how the Lord is visiting the earth. All right, the Lord is visiting the earth. Well, the time is going to come when it's going to be face to face, and it's just for all of us. It's going to be you and Yahweh Shema Shai, because right now the Lord is visiting the earth. But the time is going to come where we're all going to have to appear before that throne seat, man, that judgment seat. Excuse me. But Isaiah 47:1, come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon. Sit on the ground. There is no throne, O daughter of the Chaldeans, for thou shalt no more be called tender and delicate. So, like I said, basically America, she's about to get her cherry popped. All right. Because, like I said, there's a lot of things that, and this is why these Americans are so comfortable, because there's a lot of things that, these Americans haven't experienced. Because what we see going on in these third world countries and whatnot, they're used to it, You got a lot of children, young adults, young men and young women, they were born into that, war-ridden environment. So that's all they know. So they're used to it, But to these Americans that are comfortable, again, the Lord is about to sweep the rug from up under these people's feet, man. It's going to hit them like a shit ton of bricks. All right. So it's coming to America, man. And again, the Lord, He's saving the worst for last. Not the best for last, but He's saving the worst for last.
There was pandemonium, there was panic, there was turmoil, there was chaos. And the people were yelling at each other. People were arguing with each other. People were calling each other names. And it just got so violent. And I leaned behind the three-seated pastors, and I said,
And that's what Esau wants. That's what he's stirring up through the Spirit of the Lord. All right. He's trying to get these people to react a certain way so it justifies him in, bringing in order. Right? It justifies him in shutting things down. Because again, these Americans, they're not used to being uncomfortable. You talk about, I know my rights and, the Bill of Rights and all that shit's about to go out the door, man. And these people, they're going to find that out the hard way.
why aren't these pastors saying anything? They were completely still, looking straight ahead, not looking down at the people, looking straight ahead, holding these torches that were just flashing fire from each of the torches. And I have the understanding that these three were connected, and they were strategically sitting in three separate areas of the United States. And their chairs were just barely high, probably about 15 feet in air or so. I don't know that I understand what I saw, but all of a sudden, when I kept saying in my heart,
and you see, because there's something that just has been in my spirit, man. Because like you mentioned, all of a sudden, and that's the Lord emphasizes that throughout the scriptures, that sudden destruction. As I've been saying, one day we're just going to wake up and it's just going to be different. Things are just going to be different, just like that. And again, brothers have reported on it. I myself have reported on it, done videos and whatnot. But, an example like with the banking system, right? Going into how, because, most of the banks are, for the most part, they're closed on the weekends. People, for the most part, when it comes to weekends, people are distracted and they're not really paying too much attention. So in the case of some, event where there's some type of this banking crisis or whatever, which, like I said, we reported on it, which today is Friday, and then, not so coincidentally, but this whole cyber attack, talks of a cyber attack, which I'm not saying that, things are going to happen this weekend, but according to, these so-called experts, some events are going to take place on a Friday and on a Monday. Things are just going to be different. But again, that sudden destruction, all right, because when the Lord drops a dime, it's going to be that quick, man, just like that sudden destruction. That's why I be saying, man, hey, we know at any day, any moment, this thing can pop off. In this truth, more and more we learn to walk on eggshells, all right, because we know at any moment this thing can pop off. That's how serious it is.
These pastors, I don't understand why they're not saying anything to the people. There's chaos down there. And because they didn't, I said in my heart, I need to go get my wife. I need to make sure my wife is okay. And right when I made that decision, I heard people robbing each other. They were breaking into each other's homes. People were trying to steal things from cars on the street. People were stealing food. People were absolutely trying to take things from each other, and they were doing it by force and willing to die for it. And all of a sudden, I looked at it, I said, what is going on? I grabbed my head and I said, what is going on? And all of a sudden, above me, I heard a loud voice say, bloodshed. And as soon as I heard that voice, immediately people were shooting each other. They were carrying guns in the street. There was no police anywhere to police this issue or to bring order. It was complete chaos of what was going on. I did not understand this, and it just freaked me out so bad, and all of a sudden my eyes popped open from sleep.
Now this is what gets interesting even more, because like he just mentioned, what he's seen in this, I believe it to be a vision. He woke up from it, but as I'm going to play on, he went back to sleep, and to show you how cold the Lord is. That's why I believe that this was a vision he saw. pretty much pick back up right where it left off, right? But what he's basically describing is 2 Esdras 15. All right, 2 Esdras 15. I'm gonna start at verse 14. Woe to the world and them that dwell therein, because wickedness is reached. It's reached an all-time high. All right, you know, and it's cold because pride goeth before destruction. Right, before a man's fall. Roughly paraphrasing. Well, pride is on an all-time high. Right, and the Lord's getting ready to do something, and he's really getting ready to shake things up, man. I feel it in my spirit. I know brothers feeling it in the spirit, man. The Lord is really about to do something to shake things up. It's about to turn up out here, man. The Lord's really about to turn things up, turn the heat up, turn the notch up. The Lord's getting ready to do the thing, man. It says, for the sword and the destruction draweth nigh. And again, every day that comes in and comes out, man, it's just another day closer. It's another day. It's one day closer. Because we know, pursuant to Acts 14 and 22, before we get the kingdom, these things have to happen. So, we're cheerleading it all, man. We're egging it on. Let's get on with it, man. Because we want to get out of here already, man. We want to get out of here. So, but again, going back to that mindset, because, a lot of people on the outside looking in, especially, newer comers, newer brothers and sisters, because a lot of us, we're to a point where it's just like, nah, man, don't hold back. Like, let's get this shit on already, man. Let's tangle. Let's do this. Like I said, people that may not understand, newer comers, right, may hear that, and it's like, man, what the hell are these guys talking about? But you see, again, it's a certain mindset that you have to develop to be in that state towards it's like, man, let's get on with this shit already, man. Because Esau, he's fucking kicking the can down the road already. It's like, come on, you goddamn devils, let's do this shit. Because we understand that if the Lord is with us, then we ain't got nothing to worry about. And it's easier said than done, but we ain't got nothing to worry about. Because Jacob's trouble, what's getting ready to happen, it's not for us. Lord willing, we're of the number, it's not for us. All right, and this time period, this is where certain of us are going to be getting spiritual power, and if you're paying attention, and that's the spirit, because just today, the Lord, he performed a miracle on my behalf, and it cheered me. It really cheered me up, because all week I just been in this, all week, I really ain't, and it's getting more and more like that for brothers I know and sisters, to where it's just like, man, you wake up, it's just like, God damn, but the Lord performed a miracle on my behalf, called Allah Yahweh Shema Shai. As we speak, the Lord performed a miracle on my behalf, and I'm amped up right now. So I could not end this night off without because it's been a long day, as far as working and whatnot, and just dealing with the bullshit that I got to deal with. But it's been a long day, but nevertheless, to top this day off, to top this week off, man, not only that, man, Lord willing, tomorrow get to Lord willing, fellowship with the Akim one more time, one more day out there with the Akim on the battlefield, one more time, for camp. Nevertheless, I'm hyped up right now, man, because the Lord, he performed a miracle on my behalf, man. I was trying, a little hard not to break down in tears, because Jake is used to catching hell, and it's something that's been in my spirit, something that I pray for me personally, for myself, and just through the spirit. I'm gonna let to whom this may concern, Akim or Akwath, be ready to win. All right, be ready to win, because like I said, Jake is so used to catching hell. We're so used to getting our ass kicked. Something that I've been praying for is, the Lord came through on kicking our ass my way. It's about time for us to we're coming into that time where it's time for the Lord to lift us up, man. And like I said, just me personally, what I've been going through, how the Lord's been coming through, and I've been praying about this, for a long time. Well, over the months and whatnot, hey, the Lord, he's been showing me that, hey, this might be the time. That's, I've been talking about that often. Like, hey, we might be in that time. We might be in that season of winning. So be ready to win. And something that I've been praying for is for the Lord to, hey, when it comes my way, Lord willing, if I be one of those men, when it all comes my way, may the Spirit be upon me to be able to receive it and to take it and to remain humble. Because, hey, one of the reasons why, Jake catches hell so much is that, hey, the Lord, he's, keeping that fire under us. He's making sure, because we can't get comfortable, and if things are just going your way and whatnot, it's easy to get comfortable. It's easy to get, complacent. So that's one of the reasons why the Lord keeps us in this state where we're just uncomfortable. But, hey, the Lord is true, man. The Lord is faithful. He's just. So the Lord, he's been kicking our ass. We're used to getting our asses kicked. Well, hey, Lord, we've been built up to a point where when the blessings start flowing, hey, we're gonna, deal responsibly. So just through the Spirit, as a little side note, man, hey, be ready to receive, man. Be ready to take on the blessings. We've been getting our asses kicked. Well, hey, now it's time to win. But with that being said, fair warning, don't get comfortable. All right, don't get comfortable. But going back to in 2 Esdras 15, because like he was explaining, this is pretty much what he was explaining. In 2 Esdras 15 again, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh. And the scriptures talk about 4 sword judgments, right? And you see, because the thing is, even if you manage to escape one, you might escape the teeth of wild beasts, just to run into some martial law troops, or to get taken into some concentration camp, or whatever the case may be. All right, one way or the other. If you're outside of that hedge of protection, well, hey, one way or the other, you're gonna get caught out there without the Lord's protection, and that's a scary thing. Because, hey, I mentioned this in a recent video that I did the other day about how, hey, when it comes to, because you got these fake and phony Christians talking about the blood of Jesus, right? The blood of Jesus, right? Well, listen. For one, the blood of Yahushua. All right. Now, back in the ancient world, ancient Egypt, right, where it was in a physical sense. You would sprinkle the blood of the animal on the doorpost, and that way, when the destroyer came through, all right, hey, you were protected if you had that blood on your doorpost. What now is spiritual, all right, and Lord willing, again, we're of that number. The blood of Yahushua is upon us, spiritually speaking, in our minds, right? That's the doorpost now, so to say. It's our mind, because, hey, wisdom and knowledge shall be thy stability. That's what's going to keep us, the spirit of the comforter, the keeping of these laws, statutes, commandments to the best of our ability, following after the standard of the Yahweh Shema Shai, all these things, man, applying wisdom. We obtain favor in the eyes of Yahweh Shema Shai. So with that being said, when that time comes, hey, we're going to be protected pursuant to Ezekiel 9, right? To all those that have the right attitude, hey, they're going to be protected. They're going to be all right. They're going to have the spirit of Yahweh, the blood of Yahweh Shai is going to cover them. But to everyone else, hey, because what people fail to understand is, one way or the other, the Lord he requires blood. And that's why Cain was rejected, right? Because he didn't want to present the proper sacrifice, right? Abel was, accepted. Cain was rejected, right? And spiritually speaking, hey, the blood of Yahweh Shai is going to cover us, Lord, one of that number. But to 2/3, hey, the Lord's going to require their own blood, and that's a scary thing, because Yahweh Shai, he's not coming back on the earth as a literal newborn babe, as through a man and a woman, just to go through all that hell for the sins of the nation of Israel. Nah, man, the Lord ain't going through that again. He went through it once. Hey, that was it, and that was enough. The precious blood of Yahushua, man, that was enough. Present his body a living sacrifice on all of our behalf, right? Because eventually 2/3 are going to get it, but as of right now, they're not going to get it on this side. So, you know, hey, their own blood is going to be required. And, you know, again, that's why I said we don't have nothing to worry about, because this time that we're about to come into, man, it's not for us. Lord willing, what the number. And that's why the Lord is dealing with us now. So we don't get condemned with these, you know, fucktards, man. These dingbacks, man. But again, it says, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one person shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands, like he was just saying. All right, hey, things are gonna get so hectic, so chaotic. As I always say, you know, it's gonna get to a point where people are gonna get it the ski mask way, man. They're just gonna take what they need, you know. That includes women, children, you know. Scriptures talk about that. Women are gonna be trodden underfoot, man, like you know, trample like the mire of the streets. Hey, it's gonna get bad, man. It's gonna get real bad, real scary, you know. And I can be here a whole another hour and a half, man, just going into in detail, man. But hey, just know it's gonna get bad. It's gonna get ridiculous. It's gonna get redonkulous out here, man. And that's why we're just like, man, Lord, please. That's our best. That's why, like I read earlier, our hope, man. We just gotta hope that the Lord shows us mercy, because that's our best bet. That's our best shot. It's just, you know, the Lord just, you know, being with us, man. Right? Because it's gonna get to a point, and I always ask myself, like, because, you know, things are happening, like I said, worldwide. And it's not even as bad as it is here in America. But the fact that these Americans are so dumb, all right, they're so docile, they're so simple and weak, man. Like I said, what's going on in a lot of other countries like France, Greece, and other places, man. Even though it's not even as bad as it is here, but nevertheless, these people, they're protesting. They're tearing shit up for real. You know, they're tearing shit up for real, because, you know, you got protests and stuff going on out here every couple of years or whatnot, but it's not, you know, information has come out that a lot of that stuff is just orchestrated, you know, it's organized and whatnot. But a lot of these other places, that shit is for real, because, hey, you know, with that being said, it's like, what is it going to take for these boneheaded Negroes? And man, I was just watching that. I think it was Dave Hodges, as well as a few other people, but they were talking about how, hey, what is it going to take for these Americans to get to a point where it's just like, man, enough is enough? What is it going to take? And I've always said, all right, you know, because when you know, man, you see the videos of worst all hip hop and whatnot. When Jake, man, when their money ain't right on them paychecks, or they can't get some food or something like that, man, hey, Jake could tear shit up, you know. And I've always said that might be the straw to break the camel's back. All right, when people can't access their bank account, or when the food gets, you know, hyperinflated, right? You know, you got the 6 carton of eggs. When that shit starts running you $50, $100, hey, that's when people are really going to start, you know, tearing shit up out here, and you know, hey, walking patrolling the streets, guns and violence is going to sue, man. That's when you're really going to have to purge. It's gonna be unsafe to go outside, right? Like it talks about in Deuteronomy 28, no assurance of that life, man. This is gonna be unsafe, uncertain. You're not gonna know when your next meal is gonna come from. This is gonna be crazy, man. This is gonna be a damn pot stew of just chaos and murder, death, destruction, bodies from one end of the earth to the next, man. And America's gonna be ground zero for that, man. America's gonna be ground zero for that. But it says, for there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another, and they shall not regard their kings nor princes. In the course of their actions shall stand in their power. So people are eventually just going to get to a point where they're just going to take matters into their own hands. They're going to say that the hell these governors, mayors, politicians, hell, the president, whoever, whatever, people are going to take matters into their own hands, because, hey, when you back the cat into the corner, or any animal into a corner, hey, eventually it's just going to lash out. All right, it's just going to lash out. And that's what Esau is doing, because, again, it's all controlled, orchestrated. He wants these people to react that way. So that way, when you read on, it says, verse 17, a man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. Why? Because martial law, shit's going to be shut down, right? You know, and with that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and play this video on, because that's gonna lead, one thing is gonna lead to another, right?
And when my eyes popped open, I was so disturbed with what I saw. And I said, Lord, what is this? And immediately I started praying, and I looked at the clock. It was 3 a.m. in the morning. I knew that my wife had to get up early. And so I thought, I'll just wait to help her so she can get situated when she gets up early, and just try to reason what I had just seen. And somehow, some way, in the midst of my disturbance, I fell asleep again. When I fell asleep again, I saw the same 3 pastors.
So like I said, because he woke up, and that's why I believe that this was a vision that he saw. Because like he just said, he woke up from this dream. All right, and when he went back to sleep, he pretty much picked up right where he left off. So that lets you know this was a vision that he saw.
And they were bigger and they were higher. I saw the people. It was dark. There were no lights. People were trying to find lights, and there was no lights to find anything. And because of the darkness, the incapability to get any lighted areas, pandemonium broke out. Hysteria broke out.
And hey, you know, it takes me back in ancient Egypt, right? But the difference is, because you know, even back then, the Lord, during that time, he delivered the 2/3. Well, this time he's not going to deliver the 2/3. All right, and just like back in ancient Egypt, when the Israelites, you know, Jake had light, you know, again, it's going to be different this time, because only the elect men of the nation of Israel are going to be those beacons of light. Only the elect men of the nation of Israel are going to have the answers. They're going to know what's going on. While everyone else is out here stroking in darkness, you know, trying to figure out what the hell. That's why I read the Isaiah 47, man. This is going to be darkness, gross darkness, complete ignorance, confusion. Like, man, what the hell is going on, right?
I saw people arguing in parking lots, shooting each other. I saw people in neighborhoods standing out in front of their houses shooting each other. It was crazy what I saw with this. I was so disturbed. And I looked up and I said, God, please help us. Please help this chaos that is going on. And all of a sudden, I saw China and Russia coming into the United States of America.
And you see, this is where it gets good. Pay attention to this. I'm going to end it off here, Lord willing.
This chaos that is going on. And all of a sudden, I saw China and Russia coming into the United States of...
And that's, like I said, this video is, you know, roughly 2-3 years old. So, because, you know, China and Russia, they've been on the talk. They've been on the news lately, right?
America, I don't know that I understand it, but they were military, they were soldiers, and they were coming in to maintain the peace. I don't know where the U.S. military was or anything like this, but they were coming in, and what they were doing was putting people in concentration camps. They were arresting people. Chinese soldiers and Russian soldiers were arresting people, and they were taking guns from everybody. I grabbed my face and I said, what? I said, what are Chinese soldiers and Russian soldiers doing in America? As soon as I asked that question in the dream, immediately I heard the Lord shout, and he said, September, October, November. He said, warn the people. And I woke up. Everybody, let me tell you something. All day, that day.
So that was pretty much the point, man. That's pretty much the point. Because as I read in Isaiah 47, hey, the virgin daughter of Babylon, well, hey, she's about to get her cherry popped gruesomely. And you know, I just recently, as of, you know, this so-called New Year, watched you know, Game of Thrones, and you know, that's a pretty good series, man. one of the things they go into the process of a young gal, right, a virgin at that, getting taken by a man, the gruesome process that can be. Well, hey, again, America is about to get her cherry popped very, very gruesomely, you know, because again, I believe that it was no coincidence that the Lord showed this cat that, hey, Russia and Chinese, so-called Russian and Chinese soldiers coming, invading America, because that's why I read the Isaiah 47. Because touching warfare, all right, getting invaded and whatnot, man. Hey, America has never experienced that before. You see, well, hey, let me get this, because America is about to get her cherry popped. It's no coincidence that, hey, you had all these, with this whole talk of this so-called immigration crisis, or whatever they want to call it, going on. Make no mistake about it, it's not just the northern tribes coming over here, but you got Ishmaelites, so-called Arabs, and stuff like that, people like that coming over here, so-called Chinese nationalists coming over here. It's no coincidence. Like I said, hey, the Lord is making moves. He's making moves. Something big is getting ready to happen. All right, and pretty soon, man. Lord willing, sooner than what we think, man. Because our salvation is nearer than what we believe. But real soon, shit is gonna pop off. All right, because when chaos breaks out, hey, and I'm just speaking as a man at this point. When all hell breaks loose, hey, they could very well, because we seen that with out there in Kazakhstan. If you remember that, the couple of years ago, when all hell broke loose out there in Kazakhstan. What did them so-called Russians do? They sent so-called peace troopers to quell that shit. They sent so-called peacekeeping troops over there, man. And that's just one of many examples. But hey, nevertheless, when all hell breaks loose out here, hey, and I've been touching on the situation out there in Myanmar. All right, if you don't know by now, then hey, just go back through the archives, man. Because I've been touching on Myanmar, and I've been saying that, hey, what's going on out there in Myanmar is going to come here 10 times worse. The military, because hey, it's been military against regular civilians. And it's basically like, if you watch the situation out there, man, it's like literally bringing knives to a gunfight, because that's what's been going on out there. All right, the military against the civilians. You got civilians showing up with bats, knives, rocks, and these military cats, they just been mowing cats down, man. And you see, because that's the thing, they've been given the orders, they've been given the green light to do so. Well, that's what's going to happen here, 10 times worse. Because those Americans, he mentioned how he didn't see where were the American soldiers? Well, hey, once they get the green light to, open fire and, mow cats down, these American soldiers, because the American military is so weak. It's so weak. All right. And I know, because I have a brother, man. He's a flaming homo. All right. But, a couple of years ago, he joined the military, and, I'll just leave it at that. Because what are they fighting for? Pronouns, A lot of these cats, especially Jake, that joined the military, they're in it for the benefits. They don't sign up not knowing what they, a lot of Jake, man, they sign up for the military just for the benefits. They don't, when it comes down to war, man, they're like, man, the hell with that. Nah, man. You sign the dollar line, well, hey, you got to take your ass out there, man, and, but you see, that's the thing that's going to get a lot of, these military cats to just say, man, hey, when they get those orders, man, the hell with this. I didn't sign up for this. Well, technically you did, but a lot of these military, America's own military is gonna say, man, the hell with that, man. I ain't with this, and that's okay, because they're gonna get shipped out to World War III and to fight Yahushua. You know, it's gonna be a one-way ticket, but that's gonna pave way for the foreign troops. All right, such as Russian and Chinese troops to come through. All right, cats that are willing to get the job done. All right, because when they get that green light, hey, when all hell breaks loose out here, when America's own government, when America's own military says the hell with that, well, hey, when them foreign troops come through, they're just gonna be tearing shit up, man. They're gonna shoot first, ask questions later. You know, they're gonna shoot first, ask questions later. You see, so hey, this place is through, man. And again, this is why we're just gonna simply need the Spirit of Yahweh Shema Shah to be with us, man, because we don't stand a chance without the Lord's protection. We don't stand a chance. We don't stand a chance, man. You know, because like he was mentioning, and it reminded me of a few examples, but like, hey, he saw this vision, and it's like, man, what the hell? What am I gonna do, right? He's like, oh shit. Well, you read about Esdras, what I'm reading about now. He saw the things that we're about to come into, right? He's like, man, woe was me. Woe was me. Who shall deliver me in those days, right? Because that's how bad it's gonna get. You read about Daniel, how he saw these visions, and he's like, man, he woke up sick, physically ill. Habakkuk, right? He's like, man, I'm gonna get that. But I'm gonna read this in Jeremiah 51:12. Set up the standard upon the walls of Babylon. Make the watch strong. Set up the watchmen. Prepare the ambushes. So that's the point. All right, those ambushes, man. That's why America's about to get her virginity popped. All right, because America's, hey, she's, man, when this shit goes down, man, when it goes down, and it's crazy because, you know, I'm laughing, I'm smirking and whatnot, but I can picture it to the best of my ability, but what I can picture, I can't put it into words. I can't, you know, scrapulate. I just can't put it into words. You know, because it's English, man. It's, you know, it's a bastard's language. It's a dead language. This English language, man. It's a joke. That's why I presume the Romans the 8th chapter, man. The scriptures talk about, it tells you in that chapter, Romans 8th chapter, how, hey, man, our spirit, if anything, it cries out words that can't even be uttered because it's just bastard language. So I can picture it. You hear me smirking and laughing because I can see it in my mind, you know. But I can't. And I always say, man, listen, our words will never do justice, man. Our words will never do justice. It's going to get crazy out here. But America is set up to fall, man. Those ambushes, man, listen. You know, and it reminds me because, hey, before 70 AD, Yahushua, he was warning Jake, like, man, you and I did a video on this a long time ago about how Yahushua being the, you know, most austere, he was a top alpha male, you know. Now we're alpha males in training, Lord willing, but Yahushua, he's the top alpha male under the Heavenly Father Yahweh, right? But here it is, the top alpha male, right? And again, prior to 70 AD, man, he saw what was going to happen, and he was just like, man, you know. And that's when you read about how Yahushua, he wept. He's like, man, if Jake only knew. And it's just, man, if Jake only knew, man, because I always say, you know, when it comes to Jake, even with the 2/3, man, it's not personal, you know. It's business at the end of the day, but at the same time, it's just like, because, you know, Jake has that natural compassion. So it's just like, man, Jake really don't know what's getting ready to happen, you know, because you hear us talking about 2/3, man. It's like, the hell with him, you know, the hell with Jake, 2/3, man, fuck him. But at the same time, it's just like, man, Jake really don't know. And it's like, man, Yahushua, he's like, man, Jake really don't know what's getting ready to happen. What did Yahushua say? Don't weep for me, weep for your children. Because, hey, this shit, man, listen. And the times that we're coming into is going to make 70 AD look like a, man, it's going to make, man. Again, I'm laughing, but I could picture it in my mind, because 70 AD is going to be a walk in the park compared to the times that we're coming into now. You know, so hey, America's being set up for the worst, man. It's being reserved for the worst. You know, but let me get this last one, Habakkuk, because he mentioned, he's seen these dreams and these visions, and some brothers and just people in general, because the scripture says the Lord, he will pour out his spirit upon all flesh. So hey, people get these dreams, they can't connect the dots, but the prophets can. But even within the prophets see certain visions, they're like, man, the hell with that, man. I'm not one to get many dreams, but I'll say over the months, man, I've been getting dreams. Man, it's like, man, what the hell? I remember getting one dream. I don't even remember the dream, to be honest, but I remember waking up from the dream, and I was hyperventilating. I was sweating my ass off, and I cried, man. Well, I didn't cry, but I was like, I was basically crying. I'll just say it. I was crying. My rib woke up, man. She was trying to, rub my back and shit. Like, man, like, what's going on? And I remember that shit, man. Because I'm not one to get dreams. This was a long time ago, before I started actually getting dreams. Because as of this year, this so-called new year, man, I've been getting dreams, right? But a long time ago. I remember getting one dream. I don't remember the dream, but I remember waking up from the dream, and I was sweating my ass off, and I was crying. My rib, and she was rubbing my back and trying to, like, man, I don't even remember the dream. I just remember waking up from the dream, just, man, scared to death, fearful. Man, the Lord is cold, man. The Lord is cold, But I'm going to read this, and I'm going to end it off in Habakkuk 3:16. It says, when I heard, my belly trembled. My lips quivered at the voice. And remember, all right, men during this time, man, hey, they were a lot stronger. All right, so when you hear these examples of Ezra, Habakkuk, Daniel, Job, getting these dreams, these visions, and they're like terrified to death, man. It's like, man, this shit is crazy. But again, it says, when I heard, my belly trembled. My lips quivered at the voice. Rottenness entered into my bones, and I trembled in myself, that I might rest in the day of trouble. When he cometh up unto the people, he will invade them with his troops. All right. So you see, man, that's our best hope, man. That's our best bet, like I read earlier, is hoping that the Lord, man, he's going to show us mercy. He's going, because, listen, all of our righteousness at the end of the day is as filthy rags. Well, we all fall short every day, all right? None of us are worthy. But the fact that we're putting our best foot forward and showing forth our faith through our works, doing these videos, going out to the highways and byways, hey, at the end of the day, Lord willing, it's enough. Lord willing, it's enough. Because that's our best bet, is just the Lord to show us mercy, man. Just, Lord, please, Baba Gashaw. And that day, in the time of your wrath, I believe Habakkuk said it as well. In the time of your wrath, remember mercy, Lord. Remember your elect, Lord, please, don't forget me. Because, hey, at the same time, hey, we send up curses upon this place. We can't wait to see this place fall. But at the same time, on the same note, it's like, man, Lord, when you bring this shit down, Lord, please remember me. Because more and more it's becoming surreal. Like, man, this shit is really about to happen. This shit is really about to fall, man. All hell is really getting ready to break loose. We're really about to see this shit, man. We're really about to experience it. We're really about to go through the straight gate. We're really about to go through this. All these questions and, scriptures and destruction and death and lament, man, it's really about to happen. But at the same time, it's just like, man, Lord, with all that being said, please remember me. Because that's how, man, it's about to get scary. And scary is an understatement. Getting 12:01, this is about to be literally the worst time. And that's heavy. Because from the time of Genesis all the way up to this point, man, all the so-called bad things that have happened to us individually and as a nation, man, all that's going to be a walk in the park compared. I'm talking about a walk in the park combined all the so-called bad things that have happened up to this point combined is going to be child's play compared to what we're about to witness, man. This time of Jacob's trouble, this time of wrath and judgment, man. Listen, we don't want no smoke, man. We don't want no smoke. Lord willing. All right, but nevertheless, hey, this cat, hey, that's pretty much what he was explaining was, 2nd Ezra 15, 2nd Ezra 16, and Salaki, I forgot to get this. I'm gonna get this in Mark chapter 13. The Wadi Habashim Shai. Mark 13 and 16. For in those days shall be affliction. Because like second, just the 9th chapter, man. Hey, just these people, man, they're going to be dwelling in torments. I don't know if you dwell on something, but that's this constant pain, torturing, suffering. That's constant suffering, 24/7. All right, afflictions on all sides, man. Just what? Now, I mentioned earlier how, hey, Jake catching hell, but hey, even with that being said, the Lord, he balances us out, man. It's not pure hell 24/7 now. The Lord balances us out. But in this time to come, it's going to be pure hell 24/7. 24/7. Right? It says, for in those days shall be affliction, such as was not from the beginning of the creation, which the Most High created unto this time, neither shall be. Because, hey, after this time, there's going to be there's not going to be no need. After this time, the point is going to be made. The point is going to be made. The point is going to be made. Like I quoted, Daniel 12:1, man, this is going to be a time like no other. And so much that when you read verse 20, it says, and except that the Lord had shortened those days, no flesh shall be saved. But for the elect's sake, whom he hath chosen, he hath shortened the days. So, hey, man, if the Lord didn't shorten the days up for the elect's sake, man. Because, when you think about the apocalypse and, this dystopian future and all that nonsense, because he portrays this stuff in the movies, because he thinks once after the missiles, hit and the dust settles, that it's just going to be this post-apocalyptic setting. No, man. All right, that's not going to be the case. All right. But nevertheless, when you see these movies and these shows and whatnot that depict that, and it's pretty much just a dog-eat-dog world forever. No, man, it's not going to be like that, It's not going to be like that. And, to our comfort, this is why we hasten that day, man. Hey, come on with it. Because we know once the dust settles, so to say, hey, the kingdom is going to be established. So, hey, the hell with all this shit. The hell with this place. The hell with these people. If they're outside, if they're not of the elect, the hell with them. Fuck them. We're kingdom-minded. All right. And we know what's to come after, after all this, when the dust settles. We know we understand what's to come after all this. So, hey, I'm going to go ahead and end it up there. Lord willing, this was edifying. Call Allah Yahweh Bashim Al Shah. Shalom to you, hopefully, elect.